It's time for another adventure. This time we're visiting the Gorge, or Heifer Station. It's on the Clarence River on Australia's east coast, on the north coast of New South Wales. This place is very special to my extended family. They camp out here regularly and we've kind of been roped into that too. I haven't been for a few years, so it was exciting for me to come back and catch up with all the things that I haven't seen for a long time, and I'd love to share them with you. So on the first morning of camp, I was lucky enough to be the first person awake, first person out in this beautiful sun, so I made the most of it by doing a little bit of colouring in. I've started this practice where I make these little drawings and I take them with me on whatever adventures I go on and take photos or video of them in all the places that I visit. You might have seen it in previous videos. This particular one was the last one that I failed to finish before we left home. We kind of had to scramble out the door, so I got most of the way done, got all the line work down. So it was really nice to just sit quietly and do a little bit of colouring in, pretty much. I am using all the usual materials, so Winsor & Newton Pro markers and brush markers. Of course, my dodgy Posca pen, which is probably about 10 years old, trying to make it through. I was joined about halfway through by some curious minds. I don't know if you could see little hands creeping in at the corners or if I've edited them out, but there was company and it was very sweet. So one of the most amazing things about the Gorge is the river system. There is the huge Clarence River, which is big enough for boats, canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, all that kind of stuff. And then there are these smaller offshoots, I guess maybe like spring-fed creeks and other kind of catchment rivers that are flowing into it. So they form all these waterfalls and little pools that are all over the property. It's just beautiful. Plus, most of them have a pretty good jump rock, which my son was very brave in approaching. This is the little mini drawing series that I was talking about. So I tried to incorporate a few ideas that reminded me of the Gorge sort of before I even got there. So the eastern cod is a key one. It's one of the fish that live in the rivers there. And of course, horses and cow skulls and a little cowgirl. One of my favourite times of day at camping is nap time. While Goldie May has a little nap in that camper over there, I would come out and park myself under these trees in the shade and just do a little bit of sketchbook scribbling. So I was really trying to record a few reminders in my sketchbook of things that were turning up frequently again and again during our camp. All the local flora and fauna, the beautiful weeds and wildflowers, of course, that I always love. There were so many dragonflies everywhere. These beautiful bee eaters out the front of our camp, which are, if you're not familiar with them, are these beautiful rainbow birds. And then I found this little guy who was so cute. I don't think I did him justice. I couldn't quite capture how cute those little antennae were. I'm also very afraid of hairy caterpillars. I believe they are the worst of the itchy bugs. But he was so cute, and it was really fun to have a little object on hand to draw from. So I was using a lot of the usual mediums on these sketchbook pages. The alcohol markers are a mix of brands, so Winsor & Newton, some of the cheaper ones, Posca pens, trusty old mechanical pencil, The colour pencils were Prismacolor and Staedtler, and I was also using the Pentel Sign pen. This is my favourite place to visit at the Gorge. For some reason, it always reminds me of my old dog Humble, who is now no longer with us. But we did take her there once and she had the best time, even though she didn't know how to swim. So it was kind of nice that we were there with my sister's dogs, Bluey and Binderay, so there was a little bit of puppy company still. So I did want to share these pages even though I didn't film any process. They're all inspired by things that we saw at the Gorge. The landscapes, the local flora and fauna, the bee eaters, the poppy thistles, all those beautiful elements. One of the things we were lucky enough to do while we were there was take the boats up and down the river. We didn't have a boat of our own, but the families that we were staying with did, so that was pretty cool. We were able to see some unusual cows, not like the ones that we have at home. So I got pretty excited about that, and also some weeds and wildflowers. Of course, I had to document them too. And my favourite weed of all, this kind of poppy thistle thing, I'm not quite sure what it's actually called. I know that the farmers don't like it and it's not supposed to be there, but it is a really beautiful, weird looking plant. Anyway, thanks for coming on this adventure with me. I hope you enjoyed it.